Wahiguru Ka Khalsa, Wahiguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Yes, thank you.
Happy Guru Nanak Day.
Ji.
Today we celebrate the first Guru of Sikhism,
Yes,
who brought the principle of oneness.
yes. And the political journey, how it started?
Well, I started with a shoulder injury, actually. I was involved in...
And lots of sacrifice, families there, kids
my
are
wife,
there.
thank God, she is such a wonderful rock
Yeah.
that holds our family together. Without her, and her broader family, actually, her aunts and uncles have helped us with our kids. Trudeau has given us the worst inflation in 40 years. One in every $5 in our economy was printed in the last 2 years. Would tell you that we need to, first of all, control government spending.
They're here struggling from last 10 or 12 years, statusless.
Yes.
They don't have any peer, they don't have anything. How you will
Yes.
fix?
We have businesses that can't get workers. I visited with, example, I went to a business the other day. They have opened a Punjabi restaurant 4 years ago. They don't serve any customers in their restaurant
Yeah.
because they have no cook.
Yes.
They can't process applications for cooks. The Conservative Party is pro-immigration, and we want to be the party that welcomes everyone.
Mr. Pierre Poilievre, Honorable Pierre Poilievre, ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਨੇ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਬਾਤਾਂ ਚੱਲਣਗੀਆਂ ਦੇਸ਼ ਦੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਲੀਡਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਰੇਸ ਤੇ ਜਿੱਤਣ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਟ੍ਰਿਪ ਹੈ ਵੈਨਕੂਵਰ ਦੇ ਏਰੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਅੱਜ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਕਿੱਧਰ ਨੂੰ ਚੱਲਿਆ, ਕੀ ਕੰਮ ਨੇ, ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਦਿਨ ਹੈ, ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਸ਼ ਪੁਰਬ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜੀ ਆਇਆਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਮਿਸਟਰ ਪੋਲੀਐਵ, ਗੁੱਡ ਮਾਰਨਿੰਗ।
Good morning to you.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
Wahiguru Ka Khalsa, Wahiguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, and happy Guru Nanak Day.
Ji.
Today we celebrate the first Guru of Sikhism,
Yes.
who brought the principle of oneness
Yes.
to the world and to Sikhism, the unity of all in purpose, and we wish everyone celebrating a wonderful occasion.
And moreover, no gatekeepers.
No gatekeepers. I think the Guru would agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let us start. Now, this is your first trip after you become leader. Community would like to know about you, your childhood, your young life, your politics journey.
Yes.
Little bit about that. I never asked about that before. So let's start with that.
Well, Harjit, I was born and raised in Calgary. I was born to a 16-year-old unwed mother who put me up for adoption to 2 school teachers.
Yeah.
They taught me that it didn't matter where I came from, but where I was going. It didn't matter who I knew, but what I could do. And that's the country I want my children to inherit. I want this to be a place where it doesn't matter where you come from. As long as you work hard and contribute the max to your country, that you can succeed and fulfill your dreams. That's what we need to restore in this country.
And the political journey, how it started?
Well, I started with a shoulder injury, actually. I was involved in high school sports, and I injured my shoulder, and then I couldn't do any sports, so I needed something to do with my time. I told my mother to take me to a progressive conservative meeting in the neighborhood so that I could do that, and she took me, and I started when I was 15 or 16 and been active ever since.
And how you take it today, comparative to that life, and sitting in the chair of opposition, leader of opposition, how you take it? The challenges are still there, or you are in comfortable level?
Oh, it's very, it's a busy life. It's a big country, so I have to be on the road and at a long distance from my family, which is very hard. But it's worth it because I believe in what I'm doing, and I want this country once again to be a place of opportunity for everyone. That's why I'm in this, and I think if you have purpose in life, it gives you the strength to go through the hardships.
And lots of sacrifice, families there, kids
My
are
wife,
there.
thank God, she is such a wonderful rock that holds our family together. Without her, and her broader family, actually, her aunts and uncles have helped us with our kids, while I and sometimes she have been on the road, and that has made this possible.
So got near now Sussex Drive too?
What's that?
You got near Sussex Drive. Now you got official residence there.
Well, there is it's called Stornoway is the
Okay.
official opposition residence.
How far from Mr. Trudeau?
It's about a 5 or 10 minute walk.
Okay, very
Yeah.
near, eh?
So he
Okay.
doesn't invite me over for a visit very often.
Okay. So in question period, it is very tense. I every day when I am doing my show, it pop up there on CBC when you are asking questions. So that business, asking questions from government, and they don't answer. How
That's
it
right.
goes?
Well, it is frustrating. I've been trying to get answers on inflation. You know, Trudeau has given us the worst inflation in 40 years. Prices are rising faster in Canada than they have in my lifetime. House prices have doubled. 1 in 5 families are skipping meals because they can't afford food. The price of gas is up 100%, and Trudeau wants to triple the carbon tax to raise the cost of gas, heat, groceries, and other essentials. And I've been trying to get answers to how people are going to pay for all of these new Trudeau taxes. My goal is to do the opposite. Let's lower the cost. We have to cap the cost of government so that we can make life affordable again by lowering taxes, eliminating these inflationary deficits, and restoring the purchasing power of our paychecks.
So, what do you think the reason for this inflation? There was so much liquidify in the country.
Right.
They gave so much stimulation package. The money was there. The inflation went up. That's what the cause is.
That is the main cause of inflation.
Okay.
You have $500 billion of inflationary deficits. The Bank of Canada printed money to pay for that spending. More money bidding up goods drives prices higher. 1 in every $5 in our economy was printed in the last 2 years. In fact, the money supply in Canada, the amount of cash in circulation, is up by about 27% in 2 years, even though the economy has only grown by a total of 2.7%. In other words, the money supply has grown twice as fast as the goods and services that money buys. So more money buying fewer goods always equals higher prices, and that's what we've seen in Canada. Look, other countries did the same thing, but that doesn't make it right. You know, the Americans and the Europeans printed cash like crazy. They have high levels of inflation. That said, countries like Switzerland chose not to print money. They protected the Swiss franc, and now they have very low inflation. So it is a choice, and Trudeau made the wrong choice, and now we're paying for his mistakes.
How would have been this different if you were there as a prime minister
Well, we obviously had to spend during COVID to help people.
to stimulate?
Well, also to pay the bills of people whose governments had shut down. Your job is gone, or at least your job is, and your business is suspended by COVID closures. The government needed to replace the income of those people. That's no question there. However, we didn't need to continue paying people the CERB benefit after the economy reopened and there were 1 million vacant jobs. We didn't need to send CERB checks to prisoners or wage subsidies to corporations that had big enough profits to fund bonuses for executives and shareholders. We didn't need to have we didn't need to give $500 million to the We Charity or $54 million for the disastrous ArriveCan app. These were all decisions that went above and beyond what was required during COVID. And I also add the Parliamentary Budget Officer calculated that almost 40% of all the new spending in the last 2 years had nothing to do with COVID. So it's not true that COVID is responsible for all the spending. It's Justin Trudeau's inability to control himself.
Now, this inflation is now horse without saddle. It's going above our reach. What are the longer term and shorter term to fix it? Sitting across the aisle, what do you prefer? You have Jasraj Harlan, the shadow minister for this now. What do you have in your mind to fix it, and how you will bring it down? The life is getting miserable. In coming 2 or 3 years, this interest rate is not coming down. It will go more up in coming 6 months, and
Yes.
it's getting out of reach.
Yes, Jasraj Halan Singh, my finance critic, who is standing up for the taxpayers every day, would tell you that we need to, first of all, control government spending. We have the cost of government is up by 30% today over 2 years ago. So now this is with COVID spending behind us.
Yes.
Now they're spending 30% more. Where is it all going? We need to cap government spending and bring in a law that requires government to find $1 of savings for every new dollar of spending. That will save money for people and stop the inflationary deficits, allow the taxpayer and the economy to catch up with the cost of government. We also need to, instead of creating more cash, we need to create more of what cash buys. That means to grow more food, build more houses, and produce more Canadian energy. So how do we do that? Well, we have to get rid of the gatekeepers. Right now, it takes longer to get a building permit in Canada than all the OECD countries, except for the Slovak Republic. Every other one, though, is faster than us. So people wait long times to build warehouses, homes, pipelines, mines. We need to remove those obstacles to build stuff faster in Canada. And that is why I'm going to repeal the anti-energy laws the government brought in so we can produce more Canadian energy at affordable prices here in Canada, remove the taxes and tariffs off the fertilizer and fuel of our farmers to produce more affordable food. I'm going to incentivize municipalities to speed up and lower the cost of building permits for houses. It's very slow to get a permit to build housing in Canada. And that way we can bring millions of new homes onto the market and lower the cost. I'll sell off the 15% of the federal buildings that are underutilized so that we can convert those into affordable housing as well. So in other words, instead of creating more cash, we have to create more of what cash buys, build more homes, grow more food, produce more Canadian energy. That's my purpose.
Another issue community is going through, last week I had a talk show about the immigration backlog. There are about 2 hours I open lines and about 50 to 60 callers. Most of them, they were looted by immigration consultants, crooked immigration consultant, not all, and fake employers. Most of them were from Europe. 2.7 million, someone was telling me, backlog, and they're here struggling from last 10 or 12 years, statusless. They don't have any peer. They don't have anything. So this is going to be big for you. How you will fix?
So there's 2.6 million people waiting for their immigration applications to be processed. 1.2 million are past the service standard. This is a staggering number, and it's incredible because Trudeau's spending vastly more money on bureaucrats to process all of this, but it's not getting done. And we need to get the government producing and performing again, incentivize the public servants to rapidly process these applications, because right now we have businesses that can't get workers. I visited with A1 Trusses yesterday. They're a Vancouver area company that build trusses for homes. I don't know if you know of the company.
For a long time, and very reputed.
Their problem is they can't get enough workers, so they can't keep up with the demand. That means housing is more expensive. You need trusses for houses, but you need workers to build trusses, and they wait, months and months and months to get to process workers to come from abroad. And that means that the failure of the government to do that. The other example I went to a business the other day. They have opened a Punjabi restaurant 4 years ago, but
Maharaja Sweets.
They don't serve any customers in their restaurant because they have no cook. They can't process applications for cooks. If you brought in the cooks, then you'd be able to start the business and hire Canadian waitresses, receptionists, janitorial staff, create a bunch of jobs for all kinds of other people. But you need the cooks, and if you can't get the cooks, you can't get a restaurant. So to get our economy firing on all cylinders, we need to quickly process economic immigration. I also want to incentivize provinces to speed up foreign credentials recognition. Newcomers who arrive qualified as doctors, engineers, but can't work in their field. I want to sign deals with the provinces so that we have a 60-day guarantee. Within 60 days of a newcomer arriving in Canada, they should get a arriving and applying to work in their field, they should get a yes or no based on their tested abilities, not based on where they come from. I'm going to back up 30,000 small study loans so that immigrants who need time off work to study up to the Canadian standard can do so without ending up on the street. They can have a little bit of money to pay their bills while they're off work. And also I'm going to work with the professional bodies to create modules that allow future immigrants to begin studying and preparing to get credentialed in Canada before they even arrive. And that way, while they're waiting to process their application to come to Canada, they're also preparing to get licensed to work in our professions. So, in other words, let's get the gatekeepers out of the way, get our newcomers big, powerful, inflation-proof paychecks.
And another issue, lawlessness. Everyone is thinking it's not the Canada they moved. It's the land of immigrants. Someone moved 100 years ago. I moved 25 years ago. This is getting out of control, and it seems to be there's no police. What do you have in mind for the RCMP's national police? But we have now bigger cities, and province have own police force. What do you have in there for that?
Well, we need to target the small number of violent repeat offenders who do almost all of the crime. I met with the Vancouver Police Union yesterday. I met with the Montreal Police Union a few weeks back, and they say the same thing. It's a small number of repeat violent criminals that do the vast majority of the crime. They need to have stiffer sentences, put them behind bars and get them out of circulation. Secondly, instead of going after law-abiding, licensed, vetted firearms owners, we should instead put that money into securing our border against illegal importation of guns and drugs. Right now, a vast majority of packages come into this country without any vetting. We don't have the resources. Our CBSA officials don't have the resources. But here we are putting all this money into going after hunters and target shooters by confiscating their property. I would go after the gun smugglers who are bringing in the weapons. And finally, this whole experiment with giving so-called safe supply of drugs to addicts is not working. You look at Eastside Vancouver, Hastings, it's a disaster.
People are dying.
The NDP and Liberal approach has been to give free drugs because they say, that these drugs will be safe if the government provides them. Well, they're not safe. Overdoses are up since Trudeau took office, 300% in Vancouver and broader British Columbia, 300% increase. It's not safe. The money should go into recovery and treatment, not into free drugs.
For World Spectrum, I saw you addressing a rally in Toronto for Iranian regime there. They were banning all their hijabs, and people wants to get out, and they want to live as much the same we have for Bill 21. I always discuss with you for Quebec. So how you take it as the world is watching them, and Ukrainian war also, and OPEC is good. They wanted to cut another crude oil production, and where we are heading, and how you want to fix it.
Well, with respect to Iran, the regime there murdered a young woman, Mahsa Amini, because she didn't properly wear her, according to the regime, did not wear her headdress properly. That is outrageous, and it is a terrorist regime, and that's why I've proposed that we ban the IRGC as a terrorist body. The IRGC killed 55 Canadians who were on a commercial aircraft, and over Iran, this group shot down the aircraft, killing our people. We should ban that group as a terrorist body. What else? OPEC. Well, why are we so reliant on OPEC? Well, because we're not producing enough Canadian energy. We have the third biggest supply of oil anywhere on earth here in Canada. We have responsible energy companies that can produce it in the most environmentally responsible fashion possible. Why don't we allow them to do that? That is my view, and that's what I'm pushing for.
Ukrainian war, we are getting so many refugees. We have to cater them, and they were allowed to live for 2 years. And how they will be getting in the workforce? You've been to our 2 businesses, they are running out of their workers, and same token, we have refugees from all over the world. They were waiting for a year to learn English. To lift 2x4, you don't need English. We got our community from Punjab. They wanted to start work second day, even they don't have SIN number. So how you will, what you have in your mind for that?
Well, we need to make it fast and simple for people who come here as refugees to get to work right away. It's faster work permits, because if you're here and you want to contribute, we should encourage it because that's good for our economy. We have a labor shortage, and I'd rather have newcomers paying taxes and contributing than shut out by bureaucratic delays. So whether you're from Ukraine or anywhere else, if you're here as a refugee, you should get a fast work permit. That's my view. Yeah.
For Bill 21, any policy you have in mind? Because community wants to wants to be safe. World Sikh Organization filed a complaint in court there that wind should not blow to other provinces. And I know you were very clear on that. You said it won't be coming. But will be policy if you become PM?
Well, I oppose Bill 21. I've said that in English and in French. I think people should be allowed to wear any religious symbol they choose, and then it's a free country. And whether you're working for a government or for the local corner store, you should be able to dress how you like. And so I'm against that bill, and I would oppose it. I'll make sure it never happens across Canada. The federal government will never have a bill like that as long as I'm Prime Minister.
What will be priority in coming 2 years till election will be in 25 as per the date, but it can happen anytime as the minority government. What will be you doing and in coming 2 years? And community wants, as we were saying, we wanted to remove gatekeepers, and community wants to get interacted with you one-to-one. And you have to go to town hall meetings and meet them, and gurdwaras and temples and mosques. And so what will be in the coming 2 years? It will be very hardship.
It'll be an opportunity to meet a lot of great people. I went to probably a dozen Diwali celebrations, obviously both Hindu and Sikh, and mostly in Toronto and Ottawa. But I'm going to be going to Gurdwaras, and today I'm going to the Sikh food bank to celebrate
fundraising
and the fundraiser there. So I look forward to these wonderful occasions to meet more people and build more friendships with the community.
So, what did you try at Maharaja Sweets? What did you eat there?
Oh, my goodness.
And which one you like?
I don't know what they're all
full
called.
Full of calories.
They're full of delight and made with and love is the number one ingredient.
So, anything would you like to say in closing? I know you have to run a lot today, and tomorrow you are flying out, and next time we will chat more. Any message at last?
Well, I feel privileged to be here with you again, Harjit. Thank you for your friendship to me. And I hope everyone has a wonderful celebration today for Guru Nanak. And I want to thank the community for welcoming me in for so many wonderful Diwali celebrations that have just gone by. And hopefully there'll be many more celebrations of different kinds that we can enjoy together. The Conservative Party is pro-immigration, and we want to be the party that welcomes everyone who wants to work hard and achieve their dreams. This should be a country, as I said at the outset, where it doesn't matter where you come from, it matters where you're going. It doesn't matter who you know, but where you're going and what you can do. And that is the country that I will build, and it's the country I want my kids to inherit.
Mr. Poilievre, thank you again, and best wishes for this journey, and hope to see you soon again.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.